Hello, I'm Young-Bae. I'm a maintainer of Hi-Fi Emerging YouTube channel. And next to me is Mr. Alon Wolf from Magico. Hello,
Hello, hello.
how are you?
Good, good. Thank you for having me here.
Well, thank you for coming. Welcome to Korea.
Thank you.
And also, first of all, congratulations for the 20th anniversary of Magico.
Thank you.
How did you get to start Magico?
I didn't really start at Magico.
Yeah.
People always ask me, how did you choose to do that?
Right.
And I always say it actually chose me
Yeah.
as opposed to me choosing it.
Yeah.
I started building speakers at an early age.
Right.
Was an audiophile just like everybody
Right.
else around here. And as I was old enough to actually buy my own things, I started purchasing loudspeakers and realizing very quickly the limitation of what was available in the market.
Yes.
And start working on ways to improve upon them, using my expertise from my other experiences in industrial design and applied material and physics.
What did you major in?
I've studied industrial design, but
Okay.
also applied materials as well.
Okay.
But I also studied music in the San Francisco Conservatory. So
Really?
I have quite a few interests in mind that all kind of came together and I think helped me out in the process of creating the speakers that you're hearing today.
Okay.
So I started building speakers for myself. Friends heard them and asked me to build them one as well. It was never the same one, so I kept pushing the envelope on every new assignment that I was commissioned. And eventually, some people in the industry heard about it, heard them, bought them. Jeff Rowland, Rowland Design, he actually had 3 of my products.
Yeah.
And he called his distributor in Hong Kong and said, there's this guy in Auckland, the Hills, you might want to talk to him because I'm impressed with what he's doing. And that's how the Mini was created.
Right.
And I took it to the CES 2004, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
But it really is something that I've never planned on.
Yeah.
I always, when my kids had crazy ideas, I never say anything because you never know how high your dreams can be or should be and what you would achieve. So I wouldn't believe if you told me 25 years ago that we'd be sitting here interviewing about the stuff that we're building. I would not guess that for a million
this
years.
is like 5 years before the Magico started.
Even though I was already doing that, but it's like I never thought it would become what it has.
Going back to Mini, I've heard of the tale that somebody asked you to make the causes no object.
Yes,
speaker.
it's a funny. So that is the Hong Kong distributor of Jeff Rowland that called me and said to me, Alon, I like you to. Here in Hong Kong we have very small apartments, but we have all the money in the world. We need small speakers, but all the small speakers that are available, they're not built very well. They all have kind of a cheesy stands. Can you build something that would look the part all the way through and not cut corners on the stand or what have you? And don't worry about the money because we have plenty. Just go out and do it. And I did. I took a year to build the Mini, cost no object. And it was a 2-way on a stand, but it weighed with the stand almost 300 pounds.
Wow.
So it was substantial. And I was done. I called him up and I said, Robert, I have the Mini. I sent him a picture. He was super excited. And then he asked me how much it's going to cost. And I said, it's $22,000. Now, mind you, this is 2003. And back then, the most expensive 2-way that I think I remember, and it was already by far more expensive than anything else, was the Sonos Faber Extrema,
Right.
which was in the US was about $10,000.
Right.
So I told him it's going to cost $22,000, and he was like, $22,000? Are you crazy? It cannot be more than 16,000.
Yeah.
And I said to him, Robert, you told me that price is not an issue. It's $22,000.
Yeah.
No. It can't. The 16 is the most we can do here. And I said, okay, thank you very much. And I hang up the phone. I was very upset.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was maybe a negotiation tactics back then, but to me, I've worked so hard to create that. I took him in his board saying cost is not an issue. So I built that.
Yeah.
So I had a speaker with no home to go to. Jeff Rowland said to me, just bring it to the CES.
Yeah.
Let the world hear it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's good that the Hong Kong guys did not take the speakers. Yeah.
A lot of my friends, misses that mini. If they can find what they want to buy, that's what they say.
Should. It was a special speaker.
It was quite special, and also the sound.
Yes.
It was really something. When did you build your first speakers?
I built my first speakers when I was 14, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was a kit.
Yeah.
Peerless kit. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah,
I used to, again, just because I wasn't in a position to actually acquire anything ready. So,
Right.
but this is where I started to at least understand how things come together and work.
Yeah.
And been heavily invested in the process of how to make things better ever since.
So how did you get into industrial design?
It's just I've done a lot of fine art since I was a child,
Right.
basically. So I was always interested in that aspect of creation. So a lot of it is from the artistic kind of push that I've always had interest in.
Right.
I started doing computer animation in '94, so early enough when the tools became available that allow you to start building things in three-dimensional virtual environment.
What did you use
is,
at that time?
Alias.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And Silicon Graphics, remember those?
right.
Yeah, I had 3 Silicon Graphics, me personally at home.
Oh, really?
Each machine back then cost $50,000.
I know.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
An Alias Sit was another $50,000. An Alias Animation was another $50,000.
Right.
And we're talking about 1994.
Right.
So in today money, I can't even...
That was the top of the line.
It was the top of the line.
Yeah.
I started working in the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen Ants, for instance. I worked on that film.
Really?
Yes, and a lot of commercial video games, original SimCity, if you remember.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods Electronic Arts series. I worked on that. And many others. So my skills in the computer aided design basically were quite substantial when I started to design loudspeakers.
I heard that your product photos are taken by you.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start your photography hobby?
Mm-hmm. Again, very early age. My grandfather gave me a small Kodak camera.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember when it was the time, but I've been around photography for most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started Magico, of course, in the beginning, I sent the product out for professional photography,
Right.
realizing again very quickly that it's very costly, and also it doesn't necessarily exactly give me what I want. I have to stand there with them and drive everybody crazy to achieve exactly what I had in mind. And one of the photographers just said to me, I mean, you know what you want. You don't need me for that.
Right.
So I took him at his word and actually invested in studio setup, which until then I did not have. It's large form. I mean, it was medium format digital, technical camera, bought some lights,
Yeah.
and start doing it myself.
What do you use? And what brand?
Phase one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people use Phase One for medium size, right?
Yeah, for super high-end product stuff, you want to use Phase One. I have different cameras. I have the Phase One cameras. I have Arca Swiss,
Yeah.
Combo.
Okay.
I Leica, but I don't use Leica for the studio.
Right.
That's more for me in the street or
Straight photography.
yeah.
Yeah.